And Jack Frost, what's up, party people? All right, so yeah, let me see. I don't know. I have to write this shit off. Like, I don't know if there's something wrong with it half of the time or not. Anyway, how's everybody doing today? First thing I want to do is we want to give a shout out to all the veterans, everybody who served in our armed forces, who tried to keep this country safe. I don't care what you think about the country. I don't care what you think about the direction of the country or anything like that. The people that actually serve on the armed forces, they're doing that not because they're Republican, not because they're Democrat, not because they have some kind of allegiance to some kind of secret fraternity, not because they're part of some kind of white supremacist movement, but they're doing that because they're keeping us safe. So we're going to give a shout out to them because we love them. We love people that help keep us safe every day. Don't never forget that. And please don't take it for granted. You. Anyway, how's everybody doing today? It's a beautiful Tuesday. Yeah, go Navy, yo. Facts. The whole armed forces. You feel me? It's a beautiful Tuesday. We want to give a rest in peace to Stan Lee. He was a very, very big part of my adolescence and of my pre-adolescence, more pre-adolescence than actual adolescence. He was a very, very big part of that. So we want to give a rest in peace out to Stan Lee. I'll talk about that more in a minute, but he absolutely helped shape the man that I turned into for numerous different reasons. What's up, Shelby? What up, Young? What up, Mario? What up, Michael? What up, Ant? Ew. What up, Tim Tyler? What up, Tone Cone? How you doing today, Tone? What's up, Vic Vice? What up, Shakes? Lady Biddle? What up, Lady Biddle? What up, Mr. Anderson? What up, Renee Ricketts? What up, Monica? What up, Blanco? Let's go! Yo, look, there's a couple of things I wanted to discuss this morning. One of the main things I wanted to discuss is we have to speak confidence into ourselves. Never let anyone let you think that you're less than who you are. It's very, very important for us to be able to feel good about ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? If you got people around you or people in your circle that's trying to make you feel like you're conceited because you think positively about yourself, that's because they think they ain't shit. You let them keep that shit over there. You feel me? Them people that think that they ain't shit, you let them keep that shit over there. You help them out the best way you can because you might love them. You might love them. But you don't allow for that energy to become your energy because your energy must be protected. So I'm gonna tell y'all some good news real quick because this is my monologue, everybody. Anybody that's new here and you don't know, I monologue for about the first 10 minutes. So you can, if you just want to get right to whatever the fuck the conversation is gonna be about, skip to about 10, 12 minutes into the video. But right here, this is my time, this is my monologue. Anyway, so I want to give a shout out to myself. I'm back up to about 195. For everybody that don't know, about a year and a half. 2 years ago, year and a half. What's up, young stunner? I was going through something personal in my personal life, and it was like a real weight on who I was. And I ended up dropping down from about 200 pounds to about 165. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't do nothing for months. I still have problems sleeping to this day. It is what it is. What up, Antonio? But I was going through something, in my life. I dropped down from like 200 pounds to like 165. I mean, I would go 3-4 days like without eating. Like I couldn't hold nothing down. I couldn't eat. I'm very happy to not be going through that currently. But now I'm back up to it was I'm not gonna say it wasn't just stress. It was, I don't really want to get into it, but it was just something happened and it was just quite honestly unequivocally, it was the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life, bar none. And you talking to a man that mother abandoned him, and that was the worst thing that had ever happened to me in my life. It is what it is, man. Shit happens. Look, at the end of the day, if you expect to go through life with no bumps and no hurdles, then you fooling yourself. All right? What up, Strife? You fooling yourself. It's not that we have bumps and it's not that we have hurdles. It's not that you can't expect to not have disappointment. Disappointment is going to happen. You can't expect for everything to be perfect. That is not going to happen. But what you can hope for is to have the strength to be able to pick yourself up by your bootstraps and get back on the road. Because sometimes we fall off that road and, you know, there's ditches on the side. Sometimes it's difficult to get out of those ditches. And sometimes we got to walk along the road, besides the road, in those ditches until we could get out of those ditches. You understand what I'm saying? So definitely anxiety, Antonio. So let's give a shout out to all the people that's going through some state of anxiety or depression. Let's hope that they get the help that they need to be able to, you know, overcome whatever their difficulties in life may be at that time. You understand? So yeah, Young. I think Young spoke to me about that. But let's try to beat people's strength. That's why I'm always, good morning, Miss Young. That's why I'm always talking about the things that I speak on, because at least once a day, I don't care how bad your day is going, if at least once a day you can't have the strength to talk about improving yourself, being a better you, like at least once a day, you need to have people around you, even if you gotta, I'm not saying talk to yourself, I'm not saying do crazy shit, but I do believe that we need to inspire confidence in ourselves sometimes, because we don't always have the people around us that know what we're going through. So, you know, that's all I'm saying. Like, we got to be positive, got to do the things you got to do. Anyway, so I'm gonna get right into the Stan Lee situation first. When I was a kid, I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick. When I was a kid, right? So I have an older brother, right? You know, douchebag ass nigga. So one of the things that he would do is, I told the story before. I'm pretty sure the statutes of limitations have passed, so I'll just tell the story. So he used to have two white friends of his, and they used to go to comic book conventions. And when they went to comic book conventions, he would stand around the tables and look at things. His white friends would then start stealing comic books. That's why whenever I go inside of a fucking store and I see them follow me around, the first thing that comes in my brain is, we could rob this place. Seriously. Any store that follows black people around unnecessarily can be robbed. That's just facts. Because what my brother would do is, my brother would be standing there minding his business, not doing nothing. Just doing nothing. And people would be so busy looking at my brother, so busy focusing in on my brother, that his white friends would steal comic book after comic, so many comic books. So in my basement growing up, I grew up in a private house. In my basement, we had a basement, first floor, second floor. In my basement growing up, we had, what's up, KD? In my basement growing up, we used to have like thousands of comic books. Like I had almost every edition of almost everything up until like 1981 or 82. I had like every edition of almost everything. I read almost every comic book before 1982. Literally, almost every single comic book before 1982. I probably read every single one of them. So that's another reason in which why I speak the way that I talk sometimes, and that's another reason why sometimes I have the inflections in which I have, because when you're reading different types of vehicles of literature, you then start recognizing the different writing styles, and then that sometimes becomes part of your speech pattern, or part of, you know, the way in which you talk. That's why people that read like a lot of I don't know. I don't want to say Hemingway, because he talked with really small words. For everybody that don't know, Hemingway, he didn't use big words at all. Hemingway used for the majority of his writings, he used very small words. He's not one of those guys that used like 16-letter words or tried to he simplified things more than anything else. And I think that writing style is a great writing style, to simplify rather than try to expand on make things more difficult to understand. Anyway, so You know, when you read certain, when you have an individual that reads certain types of work, they speak a certain way. You understand what I'm saying? That's why literature is so important. That's why writing is so important. You understand what I'm saying? That's why getting our children to read at a young age is so important. And it really doesn't matter what they're reading. You understand what I'm saying? Because the way that reading allows for you to be able to use your imagination. Anyway, the point that I'm getting to is, so we had like tons of comic books in my basement, and I always gravitated to there was like a point in time, I'm not gonna say always, there was a point in time where I really gravitated to Spider-Man. And I didn't gravitate to Spider-Man because he just had dope action scenes. Initially I did. For everybody that don't know, the difference between I'm about to just give you a real quick comic book lesson. Anybody that want to know. The difference between the comic books back then, you had the Spectacular Peter Parker, you had Spider-Man, you had Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, pardon me, and you had the Amazing Spider-Man. Those was the two main Spider-Man titles, and then Web of came after that, and then, you know, it branched out into other things. And then they just had regular Spider-Man, it branched out into other things. But the biggest difference between the Spectacular Peter Parker Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man was the Amazing Spider-Man was more about Spider-Man. It was more about Spider-Man doing Spider-Man stuff, while the Spectacular Peter Parker was about Peter Parker. It was about Spider-Man's actual life. You understand what I'm saying? So that was the biggest difference. They had a lot of good storylines with the Spectacular Peter Parker that had to deal with a lot of Spider-Man shit. Don't get it confused. But it was more about the background of Spider-Man. So one of the big aspects that I grasped from that I really gravitated to, and this is something that I preach all the time, is with great power comes great responsibility. I can't stand when somebody has the ability to help someone and they just choose not to because they're indifferent. We shouldn't be indifferent to other people's pain. That's just terrible. You know what I'm saying? Some of us have grown up in families that are indifferent to our suffering. You know what I'm saying? Because of their own pride, because they don't want other people to look at them a certain way, because basically they just don't care about, you know, whoever the other family member is enough to want to, if they can't get them assistance, get somebody around that can get them assistance. You understand what I'm saying? So growing up, this was a very big aspect of what made me who I am. I don't like seeing people do wrong. I don't want to get involved in doing wrong. I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to be the evil in the world that I want to not be in the world. And I think that that's a big issue that we just have just in general. People will say, oh, that doesn't affect me, and they don't care. This is the type of shit Stan Lee taught me. Just so we could go a little bit further, because we just talked about Stan Lee for a little while. Yeah, energy begets energy. That's a fact, Shelby. Just so we could be a little bit more onto the point about whatever. Later on, I became a big Captain America fan, but that was only because I read all the other comic books. You understand what I'm saying? You don't understand how many comic books I read. I read a lot as a child. I had this one book, Tales of a Fifth Grade something or other, Fifth Grade Loser. I forgot the name of the book, but I had to read that book cover to cover at least 15 to 20 times because I had ran out of comic books by then. You understand what I'm saying? We had a flood in my basement. All the comic books got destroyed. At least that's what I was told happened. I don't know what happened to the comic books. As far as I know, my father just threw them out. He didn't know how much value they were. If we would have had those comic books to this day in mint condition, we'd be millionaires. Like, that's how many comic books it was. Not an exaggeration. We had a lot of rare editions. This is before the big comic book boom in 2000 when they started overprinting comic books and they started losing money. We would be millionaires right now if we would have had all of those comic books still. We'd be millionaires. But, you know, a lot of times people don't know what they have. So they just think, you know, well, this is my kid stuff. But I heard it was like a flood or something and it got destroyed. But It is neither here nor there. Anyway, so I became a big Captain America fan for the same reason that I became a Spider-Man fan at one point, because Captain America spoke about doing what's good because it's the right thing to do. And I can never express that more. The other day, right? I'm not going to go into specifics, but the other day, that's what it is, Shelby. What you making? So the other day, there's just certain individuals that I find myself around every now and then, and they're always doing petty shit. It's like the most petty shit. And I can't get upset at them because that's who you are. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I might not have the biggest house. I might not have I don't have a car at all, but I might not have the fastest car. I might not have the best clothes, but I have character. I'm not a character. You understand what I'm saying? Some people are just characters. You understand what I'm saying? So there's just certain individuals that I come around and they just do the most petty stuff. And you're just like, what are you doing? And like, and as of recent, well, often I try to accept it in a certain manner, because if I try to come back at their pettiness with pettiness, it's going to be a ever going on cycle. It's never going to stop. You understand what I'm saying? Because think about it. If somebody does something petty to you for no reason whatsoever, or says something petty to you for no reason whatsoever, what's up, Mountain Rain? What up, Brian Hill? Brandon Hill. What up, Eric Sampson? If somebody does something petty to you for no reason, and you do something petty, they want you to be petty back. You understand what I'm saying? They want you to be petty. They want you. They're trying to encourage you to create a fucked up dialogue. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to encourage you to do something. So then think about it like this is how I try to think about everything. Every time I see somebody unnecessarily do something to me, this is the way I try to think about it. You ever watch basketball? You see the first guy, grab the guy's shirt or grab the guy's arm or push the guy, and then the guy pushes him back, but the ref don't see the first foul. The ref only see the second foul. The guy on the second foul gets called for a foul. Now he's incredulous. He's like, what the fuck is going on? That's how I look at people. When somebody does something to me unnecessarily for no reason. What's up, Quentin? For no reason. The first thing I think is, at least this is how I try to engineer my brain. This person's just trying to get a reaction out of me so he can make everybody around think I'm crazy. This person is doing random bullshit to me because they mean me harm. This person is trying to make other people think that there's something wrong with me while he's over here and they're not looking, and he's putting fucking matches between my toes and lighting them on fire. Because that's what they're doing. They're putting matches between your toes and they lighting them shits on fire. Then when you jump up out of your seat, like, what the fuck is happening? Then they want to point at you and say, see, I told you that guy was crazy. That's what they do. Because they have a mental illness. So you can't try to go against somebody with a mental illness. You're always going to look like you also have a mental illness. So the only thing that you could do is, and this is just the best advice that I could give people, always try to do good because it's good. And sometimes that means walking away from shit that you would love to encounter. Shit that you would love to just turn around and be like, yo, fuck this shit, man. Let's go meet outside. You know what? I'm not even talking no more. I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be waiting. When the situation break down like that, sometimes the best things that we could do is say, I'm not going to engage you because you want some bullshit. Start telling people that. I'm telling you, start telling people that. When people doing petty bullshit to you for no reason, tell a person, yo, I'm not going to engage you because you want some bullshit. And then see what happens. because that's going to make them even angrier because you're not going to engage with them. And then everybody is going to know who the crazy people are. And you just turn around and go about your fucking business. And then they're going to stop doing whatever the shit is that they've been trying to do to you to just try to cause you hardship. They're going to start reconsidering because you're not going to engage with them. We need to stop engaging with people. Think about it like this. I wake up in the morning. I woke up. I was in a good mood this morning too. I usually wake up in a good mood. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I was in an ecstatic mood this morning, and then I got one of the best phone calls I can ever get. So I've had a great fucking morning. You know how much of a dumbass I would have to be to allow for somebody else to come and take that away from me by trying to antagonize me, by doing petty shit. You know how stupid I'd have to be? I used to date this chick, right? And she used to always look at me and not understand why I used to get upset at shit. And now that I look back on the situation, I'm like, you know what? 95% of the time, she was right. There was a couple of times that she was wrong, but it was very few and far in between. 95% of the time, she was right. I was with a beautiful woman that at the time loved me. We had a nice family. I didn't really want for anything. And I had the flexibility to be able to do things that I needed to do to improve whatever my situation was. I was actually living in a pretty good life. But I was easily antagonized. Because I was always on go. And the reason why I was always on go, because of the way that I was raised. I wasn't, for everybody that don't know, I lived by myself between the ages of 8 and like 12, 8, 13. I lived by myself. This is not an exaggeration. This is not me playing no kind of game. I live by myself. In a two family private house. We had a backyard and a basement. Shit was big. I lived by myself between the ages of about 8, 9, and about 12, 13. So, it just took a little bit. So I always saw relationships as they were, how do you say? No, finite. I always saw like the time constraints on a relationship was there's no relationships. I never thought relationships could last for more than a couple of months. I never thought relationships could last for a year or two. I never thought that a couple could be together and be together forever. You understand what I'm saying? Like my mind didn't work like that for a real long time. And now that I understand that and I have that knowledge or whatever, and now I'm fucked up, whatever. I'm not gonna get into that. But we need to do good because good is the right thing to do. And if I was thinking like that, then she wouldn't have needed to encourage me to not get involved in the shenanigans. But I had those lessons in me, but I didn't understand the importance of them. And that's why often I repeat myself here, because I understand how you can know something. I understand how you can know something and be powerless to act on it. Let's try to take that power back from the people that's trying to make us powerless. That's what we need to do. There's people that they want us to feel powerless. They want us to feel like we don't have the strength to do whatever it is that we're attempting to do. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I was, well, not a story, but something that happened. I once had somebody tell me that Black people don't write books. A Black person. I once had a Black person tell me that Black people don't write books. Let that sink in for a minute. Think about that. What up, Notorious? Think about that for a minute. Like, really just think about that. In this world that we live in, what is seen as the pinnacle of intelligence? You can say whatever you want, but one of the things that signifies how intelligent a person is in this world that we live in is their ability to articulate. Thank you, literature. Thank you, Emmanuel. And I once had a Black person tell me that Black people don't write books. What up, Black? Think about that. And the reason why I'm saying Black person is because that sounds like something a racist person would say. And just so we can be clear, the person that told me this was talking about me also, and they're a family member, and supposed to be a close family member. Shout out to Angel Chapman. Angel Chapman had to go to the hospital a while back because of reasons, and he doesn't have cancer. So we're gonna clap it up for Angel Chapman, him and his family. He don't have cancer. Appreciate you, my brother. I'm very happy to hear that. But just think about that for a minute. I mean, really let that sink in. Imagine you talking to somebody who, as far as you know, loves you. As far as you know, loves you. And then they tell you, because you're telling them about a book that you're writing, they tell you, Black people don't write books. What are you doing? I finished that book, by the way, because I don't let other people tell me how I should feel about anything. I have my oldest brother, right? He's a douchebag. That's not the person who said it to me, by the way. But my oldest brother, he's an absolute douchebag, right? And one of the things that my oldest brother hates the most is if I say anything positive about myself. I literally have another brother. He's not my oldest brother, that told me that everybody in the world is better than me at everything. Literally, not joking, dead ass. I got a brother named Jeff. I'm not talking about him. My brother Jeff is dope as shit. I might bring him on the show. He's dope as shit. Nah. Jeff is dope as shit. Yeah, I got a brother named Jeff. You see people keep coming here and shouting Jeff out, right? I think that's his fucking friend, Joe. How you doing, Letitia? Yeah. I have one brother that told me, I have one brother that if I say anything positive about myself at all, I can never speak positive. My oldest brother, I can never, ever speak positively about myself, say anything positively about myself, or feel good about myself, or he'll try to tell everybody I'm conceited. This is how these niggas is. I'm telling y'all what I have to go through, and y'all see how I am every day. There's no reason for other people not to feel good about yourselves. There's no reason for y'all, for anybody to not feel like, yes, I can, nigga. Yes, I can. Maybe you can't, but I can. Good morning, Deanna. How you doing? Because a lot of times people tell you you can't do something because they can't. Your life does not define me. You cannot tell me what I'm capable of. And this is the mindset that we need to have if we want to be successful at anything. What's up, Aaron? People spend too much time listening to the niggas that's telling them they can't. When a nigga tell me I can't, I don't care. I'm not even using that shit as fuel. You understand what I'm saying? When I talk about this YouTube channel, yeah, I barely ever mention the people that was telling me that I couldn't do it, or the people that was talking shit about me, unless I'm just like making jokes and like, yo, this motherfucker. I usually talk about the things that propelled me to do it in a positive way. Why? Because this is something that I want to love. When you do shit because of the negativity that people heaped on you, you don't love that thing that you're doing no more. It turns into work. I mean, it is work, but it turns into something that you don't want to be a part of. I'm not going to allow somebody else thinking that I can't succeed make me dislike, hate, or not want to be a part of the thing that I love. Fuck you niggas. That's how I think. I'm going to pay attention to the encouragement. I'm going to pay attention to the people that want to see me succeed. That's what we need to start doing more of. We're not talking about CNN right now, T. Willie. You're one of these guys that want to always come in and change the conversation. I don't want to have to kick you. This ain't one of those days. What's up, Shinji? We need to, no one should believe in you more than you. So if you have an individual who believes in you to the utmost, you got to raise your belief level in yourself. If you have somebody that believes in you more than you believe in you, that's a you issue, because you should believe in yourself more than anybody can believe in you. Ain't nobody you but you, my nigga. Ain't nobody you but you. I don't compete with other people. I don't compete with other people. I don't care who the fuck you is. I'm not in competition with you. I'm in competition with the me I was yesterday. That's who I'm in competition with. I'm not in competition with you. We're not going to make this I'm better than you thing, because I'm not getting better to be better than you. I'm getting better to improve. There's a difference. Let's say I'm getting better to be better than someone, right? Let's say that person stops improving and then I get better than them. Then what is my motivation? But if I'm getting better to improve, there's always going to be somewhere where I can improve. Mountain Rain said, when I started my business, my so-called friends stopped talking to me. When I started doing YouTube, I had niggas, yo, my landlord used to yell at me as I walked down the block, get a real job, while I was going to my actual real job that I was doing part-time. Yeah, leave him alone. Let him hashtag. He just beat cancer. Stop that. While I was, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Sometimes niggas just hate you. There's nothing you can do. Don't focus on that shit. Sometimes people just don't want to see you do well because they can't do better. Don't focus on none of that shit. None of that is important. None of that is important. People are paying attention to the wrong shit. Okay, so recently, tell y'all a quick story. Black says, laugh out loud because I tell my coworkers that we all on a team, a part, a shift, a job, a company. I say to them that the orders have to go out. My numbers average 40 of them minimum. Now my slow pace has job security. I don't get exactly what you're saying, but it sounds like you're doing that thing. Keep doing it. For everybody that don't know, follow Black on his Instagram. He got some pretty. His Instagram is all right. No, not. He's active on Instagram also. So that's what I mean more than anything else. He's active. Like I got people that follow me and they not active. He's active on Instagram. Follow Black. This is what I mean by sometimes we pay attention to the wrong shit. We just pay attention to the wrong shit sometimes. So recently, my father was he drives trucks. Like I told you, I used to drive trucks for a living. So my father drives trucks, and recently a truck ran into him. I think I told you about this before. He could have almost died. Basically, y'all know the freighters, like the tankers. Not the tankers, but like the freight, the shits that they ship over here on the fucking boats from other countries, and then they attach it to the front of the truck. And, what up, Rio? They attach it to the truck and then it holds it. Well, one of them shits flipped up in the air and landed on top of my pop's truck. Could have killed them. By the grace of the Most High, he's still here with us. So he was concerned because people was trying to say that he was in 2 lanes. I don't know if he was in 2 lanes. I wasn't there. So they were trying to say that he was in 2 lanes. And that's why when the truck tried to pass him, and it was a 2-lane highway. So when the truck tried to pass him, something happened and the accident occurred. So the people was trying to blame it. Look, there's nothing to be concerned or worried about because that person tried to pass you. So if there wasn't enough room and you actually was in 2 lanes and they tried to pass you, then that's reckless driving on them. You feel me? So I told him this over and over and over again, but he was still worried. He was still concerned. No, he owns a small business. So, if the company tried to sue him, like, that's going to hurt. Like, he owns a small business. Like, why you, like, and y'all almost killed me. You understand what I'm saying? The fucking hypocrisy here. Anyway, so he goes to court for this matter because they're suing him or whatever the case might be. They tried to sue him or whatever the case might be. So he goes to court for the matter. The judge looks at the case, throws it right out. Why? For the same reason that I was telling him. You're worrying about the wrong shit. The guy tried to pass you on a 2-lane highway and he's saying that you're in 2 lanes. So that's even proven that he was reckless driving. For everybody that don't know, if you're driving on a 2-lane highway and there's a motherfucker, if they are in 2 lanes, I don't know if my pops was, I don't know if he wasn't. I'm not saying that he is. I wasn't there. Y'all already know how I do. I'm really non-biased. So if a person is in 2 lanes and then you try to pass them and they're already in 2 lanes and you try to pass them and an accident occur, that's you reckless driving, not the person in the front. You are reckless driving. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, I need 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Don't nobody leave. I know people are going to leave, but give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. And just so we could be clear, Nah, man, to take a leak, yo. Drink a lot of coffee this morning. I told you I've been up early as shit, yo. For everybody that don't know, coffee is a diuretic. Also, I was about to tell you, I was about to give you an anatomy lesson of what's actually down here in the area that we call our abdomen, the stomach area. I was about to give everybody I'm gonna loosen my belt some. I was gonna give everybody I don't know if I should say that. Oh man, okay. This isn't gonna be sex ed down here. But if anybody's doing it right, sometimes you're gonna put pressure on the lower part of your woman's anyway. That's neither here nor there. That was just gonna be an anatomy lesson, but it's no reason to do that. I tend to prefer to hide my I tend not to want everybody to know everything that I know. I am not an elitist. Anyway, so yeah, my pops is okay. Everything's great. But well, he's not really okay. I think he broke his hand. I think his hand got broke. But I mean, like he's alive. You know what I'm saying? His hand is messed up. I keep asking him, is it broke? I don't know if he said it ain't. But it is messed up. It's bad. It's bad. His hand is bad. But he's alive. That's the part that I wanted to make. So the fact that they just threw these niggas' claim out of court like this, he didn't even have to. They just made him pay for fucking lawyers. Fuck them niggas. So not the courts. I'm talking about the people that tried to sue him. So he has a countersuit going. Most likely he's gonna win. It might be millions of dollars. It might be hundreds of thousands of dollars. But most likely he's gonna win because whenever you have one suit thrown out that quick, there's a good chance that the suit that you have going against the other party is gonna probably be, you got a good, like they just threw it right out. They didn't even talk. They ain't even talking to none of the lawyers. So it is what it is. But like I said, sometimes we focus on the wrong things, y'all. We need to focus on the right things. So I used to date this chick, right? And she used to be like, sometimes she used to not tell me shit because she like, it wasn't important to me. And like now I be looking at shit like that way. You know what I'm saying? Like now I can understand why sometimes she said things or didn't do things or whatever. Because I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe that shouldn't have been important to her. She wasn't even thinking about that shit. Like she didn't even care. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to learn to think about the right things, to focus on the right things. We have to rewire our brains. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we need to do. That's literally what we need to do. When you want to change something about yourself, you have to create habit. Once you create a habit, repetition then allows for that to become part of you. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you have a habit of every time you come home, your wife's already home or your husband's already home, and every time you come home, the first thing you do is you walk up to them and you kiss them, and then you like have a short conversation. That'll become habit. It'll become something that you'll start doing without even thinking about it. You understand? And that's what we want. We want the things in our life that are positive, that make our life better and make other people's life better, to be commonplace, to be habit. So we need to break all the bad habits that we have. And the easiest way to break a bad habit is to replace it with a good habit. If that makes any sense? That makes any sense to y'all? We want to replace our bad habits with good habits. You smoke, right? Why do you smoke? Not because nicotine is addictive. Yeah, you smoke because of that also. But why do you smoke? Well, I got to smoke after I eat. Okay. So next time after you eat, do something else. Get it? You might still be smoking, but now after you eat, you don't smoke. You understand what I'm saying? Then, why else do you smoke? Or I smoke when I go take a shit. All right, so do something else. Now you're slowly replacing that smoking habit with other habits. So then when it's time to be like, okay, I've prepared myself, I've gotten myself ready, now I could quit this habit. So if you got a oral fixation is what it's called, Mike M, double M. It's called an oral fixation. A lot of people smoking shit. A lot of people smoke while they taking the shit. A lot of people, Cable. A lot of people. It's called an oral fixation mic. And the easiest way to break smoking when you have an oral fixation is by chewing gum. That's actually what that comes from. That's actually where the science behind chewing gum to help quit smoking cigarettes comes from, because most of us have an oral fixation, because every human being is born with an oral fixation. Just so we could be clear on that. Every single human being is born with an oral fixation. That's why kids always put everything in their fucking mouths. Yeah, exactly, Angel. Yeah, Angel. I mean, I'm not just talking to be talking. Like, I kind of used to do certain things for a living. You feel me? I'm not just talking to be talking, but you're 100% right, Angel. I don't think Ant ever accused herself of being a killer, Cable. And when I tell you a lot of people smoke while they take a shit, a lot of people smoke while they take a shit, yo. Probably the majority of people that smoke while they're taking a shit. When I quit smoking cigarettes, I used to smoke cigarettes. When I quit smoking cigarettes, I actually used to work with this dude. What up, Luke? I actually used to work with this dude that was a chain smoker. He used to smoke about 3 packs a day, 2 to 3 packs a day. And we actually had to sit in the cab of a truck all day together. So he would be, and it was the middle of the winter, so the windows was up. So he would be smoking cigarettes all day while we were working, going from one site to another, while I was quitting cigarettes. Sometimes we just got to be so strong up here. Up here, sometimes we just have to decide that we're going to be indomitable. Sometimes up here, we're just going to have to decide that it's now or never. Sometimes up here, we just have to decide, I am gonna win. Nobody else looks in the mirror and says that to themselves. Sometimes I look in the mirror and say shit like that to myself. I'm gonna win. Fuck playing. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna actively participate in my success. That's what we want to do. We want to actively participate in our success. Our success is not going to be by happenstance. Our success isn't going to be by accident. Our success isn't going to be by a creation of the outside world. Our success is going to be a creation of our inner projection of who we believe we are and what we believe we can do. That is what our success is going to be. Let's stop letting other people tell us what we can and can't do. Let's stop letting other people tell us it's okay to like ourselves. Fuck you, nigga. I don't need nobody to tell me it's okay to like me. I'm dope as shit. You're dope as shit. If somebody is telling you that you can't think that you're dope as shit, fuck them niggas. How about that? You are dope as shit. We're going to win. And we're going to win together. And if we got to, we're going to win on our own. But we're going to win. Shout out to Poland. People who don't have confidence in themselves, don't believe in themselves, and don't think that they could do any better than what they are currently doing is always going to try to point out your shortcomings. We all got shortcomings. Every single person has shortcomings. But it's not about what you cannot do better than other people. It's about what you can do as well or better than other people. That's what it's about. It's not about what I can't do. Shit, I can't do a ton of shit. I never flew a plane. I never piloted a submarine. Is that the way it goes? Do you pilot a submarine? Anyway, that's not the point. But I've never done any of those things. And so it doesn't make somebody who can do those things better than me. I never did a hang glide. I'm also not ever going to do a hang glide, by the way. That's not for me. But it's not about what we can't do. It's not about where we can't go. It's not about what we can't have. It's about what we can do, where we can go, and what we do have, and how we use those things in conjunction. That's what it's about. I hear people talk about it's how you play the game. I hear people talk about how winning is everything. I think those people set themselves up for failure. Because it's not how you play the game, it's that you play the game. And winning isn't everything, and winning isn't the only thing. Winning is just something that you should do. That's it. Not going to win every time. Not going to lose every time. But it's something you should do. When I embark on something, of course I want to win. I always want to win. I'm going to tell you a quick story. So I was playing spades. Everybody knows I go play spades on Fridays. So there was a couple of Fridays ago that I went to go play spades, right? So I went to go play spades. And my partner tried to cheat. Yes, exactly, Mountain Rain. Be the best you could be. My partner tried to cheat. I had the card that I could have won and threw out and won the book. But my partner, I needed to let the because my partner had to win. Something happened and my partner thought I didn't know what my partner threw out. I knew what my partner threw out. My partner thought I didn't know what they threw out. They were trying to cheat to let me know what they threw out so I don't win the book. I cut my partner. Because we don't do that over here. That's why it's not all about winning. But we should win. You see, once you say it's not how you play the game, it's that you play the game. That puts you involved in the game. That's what we want to be. And once you say, well, winning isn't everything, it's that we win. then you're not going to just do anything to be successful. We don't want to do anything to be successful, but we should succeed. See, once you start thinking, you know what, I should succeed, a lot of bad opportunities you will just let go. Because, I should succeed. I don't have to do that. I don't have to go sleep with that producer in order to get my get the beats I need. I should succeed. I don't need to do that. I don't need to go, take these drugs to be accepted by this fraternity of people in order to get a leg up on my opponents, because, I should succeed. I don't have to cheat because I should succeed. Now, we're not going to win every time because that's like mathematically impossible. But if we keep in our minds, it's about that we play the game and that we should succeed, we'll be in the conversation. We'll allow ourselves opportunity, and we won't have to worry about doing something that we can't live with. Look at most of these child actors. You want to know why most of these child actors is all fucked up? It's because when they was children and they didn't know no better, they were inducted into a lifestyle that now as adults and they know better, they can't deal with. Don't be the adult that allows for yourself to get inducted into a lifestyle that you can't deal with. Don't be that adult. I'm gonna call it a day. I want everybody to have positive energy, y'all. We need to, when you come around, people should feel you. People are gonna hate. You know what I'm saying? Because, that's what people do. You don't concern yourself with that. People are going to love because, that's what people do. You don't concern yourself with that. You concern yourself with whether you love or hate yourself. And if you're doing shit that you can't love yourself, then how the hell could you love others? How can you help others? How can you be positive reflection? How can you improve others' situations and lives? If you can't even stand yourself, if you're making such terrible decisions that you are unhappy with who you are. So we need to be successful. We need to do the right things. We need to be in the game. Let's not try to win by any means necessary. Let's try to win the right way by any means necessary. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. That's all I got on this one. I'm out.